To lose weight for the last time, visit myphdweightloss.com. Glad to have you join me for today's edition of Just the Truth in the PhD Weight Loss and Nutrition Studios. Got a lot to cover today. Karine Jean-Pierre pushed back on Peter Doocy's question as he pressed her on the alleged double standard between what Joe Biden says and what Donald Trump says. We're going to jump into that in just a moment. Do prisoners have a constitutional right to watch the solar eclipse coming up next week? 6 inmates in a Syracuse, New York prison believe so and are suing the state over the Corrections Department's decision to lock down prisons on April the 8th. Wow. Things just get crazier, don't they? Seattle Public Schools is replacing its program for gifted students with a more inclusive and equitable program in an ongoing trend of states scrapping honors classes in the name of diversity. This one you're not going to believe. Actually, you might. Restaurant owners in California are starting to take their own action, showing disapproval of the newly enacted statewide $20 minimum wage law. We got some details on that. And Louisiana Governor Jeff Landry is urging state officials to enact a policy that would require student athletes to be present for the national anthem after the LSU women's basketball team received harsh backlash for missing the national anthem before its regional final game against Iowa on Monday night. 864-477-JOEY, 864-477-5639. Your comments are welcome on the Firmin Ford text line. You can leave a voice message, and your emails are welcome as well, joey@joeyhudson.com.
I told you we'd be back.
And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free.
It's Joey Hudson.
I wanted to name it the Joey Hudson bill, but, they don't allow you to put names on bills. But I wanted to call it the Joey Hudson bill because I know that one's been near and dear to you for a number of years.
That's how it's done. Let your voice be heard.
And the truth shall set you free.
Here's Joey Hudson.
Does it surprise you how hypocritical the left can be? We know this, and I don't know why. When I read a story like this, it surprises me with all the things that have happened in recent years. But it still does surprise me at times that they can be so blatantly hypocritical. Latest example, Peter Doocy in the White House press conference yesterday asked a very simple question. And White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre accused him of being disingenuous for asking about President Joe Biden's use of the term bloodbath. Now, remember when Donald Trump came under intense scrutiny just a couple of weeks ago by the corporate media after he warned rally attendees in Ohio of a potential bloodbath in the auto industry if Biden wins re-election in 2024 in November of this year? Members of the media twisted his words by attempting to link them to the January 6th Capitol protest. Remember this? So Doocy began yesterday's briefing with a very simple question, saying, so when Donald Trump is talking about a bloodbath, it's violent rhetoric. What was it when Joe Biden said in 2020, what we can't let happen is his primary to become a negative bloodbath? Here's the exchange between Peter Doocy and Karine Jean-Pierre.
So when Donald Trump is talking about a bloodbath, it is violent rhetoric. What was it when Joe Biden said in 2020, what we can't let happen is let this primary become a negative bloodbath?
So I'm going to be really mindful and careful about Donald Trump, but if you read, because he is a candidate, we're talking about the 2024 election, you should read what he said in its context. So you got to read what he said in context.
Bloodbath is an ugly word. When Trump uses it, what is it when Biden uses it? No.
Let's be very clear. You got to actually ask me the question in context of what it was said, right? And what it was said when he said that, right? In his remarks, in his speech, right? And so that's being disingenuous in your question.
I'm reading a direct quote from Joe Biden. What we can't let happen is let this primary become a negative bloodbath.
He was talking about a group of people. A group of people. That's what he's talking about. What the president was talking about during the primary was not to allow it to be the words and the primary and that election to become negative. Two different things. They're not the same. They're not the same. And your question is disingenuous. And so, look, I'm going to be really mindful here. I'm going to be really careful. We have to denounce violent rhetoric, wherever it comes from. A former leader, we have to denounce that. Because we saw what happened on January 6th. We saw what happened there. When you have a mob of 2,000 people go to the Capitol because they didn't believe in the free and fair election that just happened months prior, because of violent rhetoric, you got to denounce that. That's not what leaders should be doing. All right, I think I have to go.
Don't you just love how she has an excuse for everything? Trump eviscerated the media and Democrats for seemingly taking his bloodbath remark out of context. He wrote, "The fake news media and their Democrat partners in the destruction of our nation pretended to be shocked at my use of the word bloodbath, even though they fully understood that I was simply referring to imports allowed by crooked Joe Biden, which are killing the automobile industry. The United Auto Workers, but not their leadership, fully understand what I mean," he said. He further wrote, "With the electric car mandate being pushed by Biden, there soon won't be any cars made in the USA unless I'm elected president, in which case auto manufacturing will thrive like never before. MAGA 2024, he wrote. Trump campaign spokesperson Caroline Leavitt said in a statement to NBC News that President Joe Biden's policies will create an economic bloodbath for the auto industry and auto workers. But yet it's okay when Joe Biden uses the word bloodbath. It's not violent if Uncle Joe says it. Donald Trump says it. It is. That's the hypocrisy. Prisoners are suing the state of New York. 6 inmates in a Syracuse, New York prison are suing the state over the Corrections Department's decision to lock down prisoners on April the 8th for the solar eclipse. The plaintiffs are arguing that the lockdown decision infringes on their constitutional right to view a total solar eclipse. Wow. All the inmates reportedly argued that the total solar eclipse was religiously significant for them and claimed the event warranted gathering, celebration, worship, and prayer. The plaintiffs included a Baptist, a Muslim, a Seventh-day Adventist, and followers of several other religions, according to the media they're reporting on at MyNBC5. The lawsuit added that one plaintiff received permission to observe the celestial event using special glasses, but had the privilege revoked after the prison announced that the lockdown would take place instead. 4 other plaintiffs noted in the lawsuit that they sought permission but were denied, as prison officials ruled that the eclipse was not a holy day for their religions. One plaintiff claimed that he never received any reply to his request to view the eclipse. Thomas Maley, a Corrections Department spokesperson, told the media that his department takes into account requests for religious accommodations seriously. The lawsuit noted that many religious faiths attach significance to an eclipse and cited verses from the Quran and the Bible of eclipse-like events occurring in ominous times, according to the Associated Press. Does a prisoner have a constitutional right to watch a solar eclipse? Love to get your comment on that one on the Firmin Ford text line, 864-477-5639. 864-477-JOEY. Leave a voice message as well. So the Seattle Public Schools is replacing its program for gifted students with a more inclusive and equitable program in their ongoing attempt to scrap their honors class in the name of diversity, trying to level things up they are. I'll give you the details on that in just a minute. First, let me talk with you about a very personal subject, your weight. Are you feeling a little heavy? Do you want to get in better shape so that you can fit into your swimsuit better for the summer? Well, now's the time to start, and you can start by calling 864-252-4925. PhD Weight Loss and Nutrition is the answer. Almost 4 years ago, when I was introduced to Dr. Ashley Lucas and her team at PhD Weight Loss and Nutrition, I had gained a few extra pounds. It crept up on me over a number of years. I was able to lose 30 pounds pretty quickly, and I've been able to maintain that. And they've given me the tools to know when I have to make changes in my diet. That's what I love about PhD Weight Loss and Nutrition. This is not a diet. It's not a fad diet. They're not going to help you lose the weight and then just desert you. They give you the tools to be able to maintain that weight for the rest of your life. It's all about nutrition, what to eat, when to eat, and how to eat. Dr. Ashley Lucas and her team here in the Greenvilles where I went, they have offices in Asheville, Charlotte, Lake Norman. They'll teach you about your relationship with food, and I promise you, you'll be happy you made the phone call. 864-252-4925. Write that down right now. Make that phone call today. Set up your consultation, and by the beginning of summer, you can be talking about losing 10, 20, 30 pounds. PhD Weight Loss and Nutrition, the official partner of the Clemson Tigers. Here's the story out of Seattle. Schools there have begun phasing out their highly capable cohort program, HCC as it's known, for advanced learners, claiming the program did not address racial inequalities. Its replacement is called the Highly Capable Neighborhood School Model. It'll be available in every school by the year 2024-2025 school year, meaning starting this fall. Instead of separate classrooms in schools for gifted students, all students will remain together in the same classroom, and the teacher will individualize learning plans for each student. Now, I'd love to hear from my teachers out there today what you think about this one. Send me a quick note on the Firmin Ford text line, 864-477-JOEY. The school district announced that the changes will address historical inequality and include 3 tiers of service for students depending on individual needs, delivered in a way that honors individual cultures and backgrounds. Parents and teachers critical of the program told the Seattle Times that they fear gifted students will get overlooked in the new model. They also raised concerns that it puts an additional burden on teachers to create personalized lessons for as many as 20 or 30 students. Pedro Frigolo is a parent of a student in the district. He's not too happy about the change.
That we want to provide equal opportunity to all students. And a lot of people would also agree that we want to provide the students based on their individual need. But the way that this plan is drafted, equity is defined in terms of achieving equal outcomes, and that seemingly at all costs by getting rid of honors.
However, advocates of the changes say that the new model will address loopholes which left some students behind, such as families who couldn't make the Saturday testing into the program because of transportation challenges. Fox News had previously reported that the school district's gifted program was among the least diverse in the country. Now, let me pause right there for a minute. Well, first, let me tell you what Fox News found. In the 2022-23 school year, 52% of highly capable students at SPS were white, 16% were Asian, 3.4% were black, according to the Seattle Times analysis of the school data. So my question to you is, does race play a factor? Does race, the color of your skin, play a role into whether or not you're part of an honors program or not? Is this not going to affect honors students who maybe deserve a little additional attention? 864-477-5639, the Firmin Ford text line. Love to get your comments. South Carolina Senator Tim Scott, who is a longtime proponent of school choice, also disagrees with this approach, saying that it's time for the funding to go with the student.
It means we finally bust up the K through 12 monopoly that lets bureaucrats and big labor bosses block our kids from their highest potential. It means parents' rights and family choices, and funding students instead of systems.
The school district claims that the new program will better serve students who have been historically excluded from school opportunities. The district announced on its website the program is not going away, it's getting better. It will be more inclusive, equitable, and culturally sensitive. In particular, students who have been historically excluded will now have the same opportunities for services as every other student and get the support and enrichment they need to grow. Again, I'd love to hear from my teacher friends out there. Will this work? And again, the question, does the color of your skin have anything to do whatsoever about being in an honors class? I mean, look, I was a average student in school, particularly in middle school and high school. I was a much better student in college. I got serious about it. But in high school especially, I was involved in a lot of activities. And I was your average student. I wasn't in honors classes. I didn't do AP classes. I wish I had. But look, I wasn't discriminated against because I wasn't smart enough to be in those AP classes. There's a place for everything. And when you have a teacher who is teaching honors classes, and again, teachers, let me know how you feel about this. But if you're teaching an honors class, you need to be able to pay special attention to those students who are in that class. If you put other students who are at different levels in that same class, I think the honors students are going to be discriminated against. They're going to get the short end of the deal, as we say. You agree? 864-477-5639. Send me a quick note on the Firmin Ford text line. You know, there's been a lot of discussion about the $20 minimum wage that's taking effect or took effect in California on Monday. Restaurant owners there are starting to take their own action, showing their disapproval of the newly enacted statewide mandated $20 minimum wage. I got the details on that coming up in just a minute. First, let me talk with you about that new vehicle that you're looking for. Whether it's a pre-owned vehicle that you can just absolutely trust to get you and your family from point A to point B, one that you know has been looked over, serviced the way it should, or if it's a brand new vehicle, Firmin Ford in Lawrence is the place to start shopping. I love doing business with locally owned businesses. That's what you're going to get with Firmin Ford. Their name is on the sign because their name is on the line with every single transaction. Jim and Matthew Firmin are right there every day operating this business. It's family owned, family operated, and you know that as soon as you drive up on the lot. When you give them a call, when you shoot them an email, when you stop by to visit, you're always going to have the chance to have access to a member of the Firmin family. They'll help you navigate the great deals they have on a huge selection of new Fords. They have a good selection of pre-owned vehicles, again, that you can trust. And what's even better, when you purchase a vehicle from Firmin Ford and you drive off the lot, you know that your money's staying right here in our community. Find them online at FirminFord.com. Check out all their inventory, FirminFord.com. That's FirminFord.com. There's a meme floating around on social media that I happened to see yesterday. It gives the salaries of CEOs of McDonald's and some of the fast foods restaurants. The one that I've seen and commented on, which created quite the flurry on Facebook particularly, Melanie Duraggio posted, McDonald's CEO is paid $8,543.27 an hour. Burger King CEO is paid $56,250 an hour. Wow, that's Domino's CEO is paid $4,875 an hour. Throwing that out there before anyone starts complaining that $20 an hour is too high. I responded saying that they really can't complain here. That's not an apples to apples comparison there, because the operators will find a better way if they can't make a profit by paying $20 an hour to the employees. They're going to find other ways to do so. And what the CEO of those companies makes has no bearing whatsoever on it. I would say that maybe the Burger King CEO who's making $56,250 an hour, according to this post. Now, again, this is a post on Facebook. Who knows how accurate it is? If it is accurate, then if I'm CEO of McDonald's and Domino's, I want to know what Burger King, why he's getting paid so much more than me. But you've already have some of these operators looking to do business elsewhere. Alex Johnson is the owner of 5 Cinnabon and 5 Auntie Anne's locations in San Francisco. He told local media, "We have a very finite set of economic conditions that need to be met for us to make money. And certainly this bill has cast doubt as to whether we can continue in this state. I've already started to invest in the neighboring state of Nevada," he said, "where there just isn't so much regulation. There isn't so many different types of people telling you how to run your business." And that's exactly what's happening. Look, I understand there's a place for a minimum wage. But when you exceed what the market can support, you're going to have situations where, like this gentleman here, he'll probably end up closing some of his locations. Then you're going to make $0 an hour. You're going to lose your job. So you're complaining about $14 an hour, $15 an hour, whatever it is, and you want $20 an hour. And look, we all want to make more. We all want to improve ourselves. I get that. But there are limits on everything. And again, it has nothing to do with what the CEO of these companies make. Johnson has reportedly committed to only invest in future franchise opportunities in Nevada, claiming that the Golden State's recent $20 minimum wage will cost him $470,000 across 10 restaurants. Again, the law took effect on Monday. It affects restaurants that have at least 60 locations nationwide, except those that make and sell their own bread. That was that carve-out that we heard a lot of discussion on. Cinnabon and Aunt Annie's franchise owner, Alex Johnson, again saying he's going to look for other opportunities. Governor Gavin Newsom signed the legislation. It was AB 1228 into law back in September of last fall. In addition to the pay raises, it also establishes a fast food council that includes representatives for both workers and employers that can approve further pay increases and set standards for working conditions. But restaurant owners have warned that the increased pay will lead to job cuts and higher prices for the consumers. Multiple California food chains like Pizza Hut, Southern California Pizza, Round Table Pizza, and Vitality Bowls announced layoffs immediately upon the law taking effect on Monday. For a franchise operator like Johnson, he says, everything's on the table right now. I think immediately what we're doing, though, is raising prices, something that I really don't want to do. We've had to raise prices several times over the past couple of years because of COVID-induced inflation, and we're seeing our sales decline. We're seeing traffic decline. And this is, I understand that the minimum wage is supposed to help the lower income, the entry-level jobs. But what they're doing is also hurting that same income level family, because if prices are going up, they're not going to be able to afford to eat at the McDonald's or the Pizza Hut. During a Los Angeles event to promote the bill, Governor Newsom called the legislation a, quote, big deal, and dismissed popular views that fast food jobs are meant for teenagers just entering the workforce. He said that's a romanticized version of a world that doesn't exist. We have the opportunity to reward that contribution, reward that sacrifice, and stabilize an industry. Well, you're not going to stabilize an industry, Governor, if you're creating undue burden and hardship and you're affecting their bottom line. That's not the way you stabilize an industry. 864-477-5639, 864-477-JOEY, the Firmin Ford text line. Love to get your comment on this forced minimum wage of $20 an hour. Are you willing to pay more for a Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich so that the kids there can make $20 an hour? On the Firmin Ford text line, Jennifer says, hey, Joey, if I've got the story right, Donald Trump endorsed the Lee Greenwood God Bless the USA Bible over Easter, perhaps as a timely Christian message. Nothing wrong with the message, but again, as I understand it, Trump has a deal himself with the publisher, separate from Lee Greenwood's deal with the publisher regarding his personal promotion of this Bible. I think given the current environment and the never-ending chaos around Trump, that his decision to affiliate himself with the sale of any Bible was unwise and fraught with the likelihood of generating more bad publicity than good. Sounds like another one of those Trump decisions that leaves us shaking our heads and saying, now why did you have to go and do that? Franklin writes, this is in reference to the squatters. I've had a lot of comments about the story I told you about the squatters in yesterday's edition of Just the Truth. If you missed that story, you need to go back and listen to yesterday's episode of Just the Truth. We talked about a lady who is being sued. She owns a piece of property in Hawaii. She lives in California. A builder mistakenly built a house on her piece of property. He's suing her to try to get the property and the house back when he made the mistake and built it on her property. And to add insult to injury, there's squatters in the house now. So he can't even get possession of the house, nor can she. So Franklin says the builder just lost the house. It's her property. She bought it, and he should have paid for the survey because there's checks and balances for the county and state. They have permitting, building permits, mechanical permits, electrical permits. Somebody should have caught that. No, I think she has all the right. It's her house now. Thank you, Franklin. I tend to agree with Franklin. Carol says, building on the wrong lot, a mistake? My first suggestion was that when the house was sold, she would receive half, but there is taxes. So my next suggestion, take the land they offered with a sizable settlement, plus all legal and court fees and sizable amount for her pain and suffering. The settlement needs to be large enough to send a message to deter future builders making the same mistake. Jordan writes, I love how Corinne Jean-Pierre said squatters. She seemed utterly confused by the term. I bet she's never had to deal with any of that before, and then gave an extremely generic answer from her binder, probably hastily put together. It shows they don't care about the working class and how hard they have to work for what they have. Your comments are welcome on the Firmin Ford text line as well, 864-477-5639. More feedback on a caller that my buddy Mike Gallagher had. Evidently, and this goes back a couple of days. I think it may have gone back to Good Friday. Evidently, a caller was objecting back to the Trump Bible. He was objecting to the idea that Donald Trump was selling Bibles. And a texter to the Firmin Ford text line believed that Mike wasn't being fair to the caller. However, Susan disagrees. She writes, here's Mike Gallagher's podcast in which he takes the phone call from Matt, the so-called youth pastor from Pittsburgh. Apparently, Mike gave yesterday's texter the vapors the way he dealt with Matt over the phone, but I thought he was quite accommodating, exhibiting the patience of Job with him. Matt obviously called just to be heard, interrupted constantly, and was unwilling to listen. My patience would have been exhausted long before Mike's, and I would have told Matt, since you're unwilling to take a breath and listen, this conversation is over, and hung up on him. So many of you have texted about this. It piqued my curiosity about what Matt really said. And Susan was kind enough to send me a link to this. So let's listen, because I'd love to get your feedback on this interaction between Mike Gallagher and one of his callers, Matt, on the subject of Donald Trump selling Bibles.
Matt doesn't agree. Hey, Matt, thanks for your patience. Welcome to Sacramento. You're up on the Mike Gallagher Show. How are you, sir?
Yes. How are you?
I'm good. So you didn't like Trump's Easter message, huh?
No, wait a minute. Don't put words in my mouth. What I'm saying is I've never voted Democrat. I've voted independent for Ross Perot when he ran. I voted for Trump the past 2 times. As a Christian and as a youth pastor as well, what I'm seeing is this. Let me explain this. From the Trumpy cards to the Make America ball hats to all this stuff, all this is you have companies coming into the church and taking advantage of people that donate and give money. And this is what this is. This is it's kind of shameful. I was surprised he did it to do something like this. The speech is one thing, But I think to a point we're being played a little bit.
You're a youth pastor?
Votes from
You're a youth pastor?
Yes, I am.
Shame on you. Shame on you.
Shame on me for what, Mike?
For your reaction.
That people are being fleeced
let's play
for money because, Mike, I've sat here with the Creflo Dollars and the Kenneth Copelands as well, my friend.
Yeah.
I mean,
let me do me a favor.
Church makes money.
Do me a favor.
They're fleecing people for money.
Take a breath here. Let's have a dialogue. Stop yelling at me. Let me play Trump's message for you one more time, and I want you to tell me, as a youth pastor, as a man who tries to bring young people to the Word of God, as somebody who is supposed to live and walk the faith of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, I want you to listen to what he said, and I want you to tell me what you find fault with. Play it one more time for Matt in Pittsburgh, who thinks like Joy Behar and Sonny Hostin and Liz
don't
Cheney.
Think like Joy Behar.
Well, you're in agreement. You're in agreement with them, my friend.
No, I'm saying
you are in total agreement with them. That's what they're saying.
I'm not in agreement with Joy. I'm saying that it's to be cautioned because what it is this is like the Trump trading cards.
That's what they're saying. That's what they're saying, Matt. Matt, that's what they're saying. You are in agreement with them.
Fascist, and I'm not saying that.
And they are in agreement with you that it's a scam, that it's a ruse, that it's the Trump trading. You're equating.
They're going farther than that. And I'm
sorry,
not
Matt. Excuse me. Please stop interrupting me. You're comparing the Holy Bible to Trump trading cards. Do you hear your own words, Matt? You just compared
because of what they've done, because of what he has said about it and what he has done to it. It's make America pray again. He's taking it and making it something that he can financially benefit from.
Shame on you.
From a prayer,
from a Peter
Popoff prayer thing that you sent.
I'm going to play it for you one more time, and I want you to critique it. Let's listen together. Since you have since you're so triggered by Trump's Easter message, I want you to respond to what.
I'm not triggered by his Easter message. All I'm saying is I'm triggered
excuse me,
by him
you're interrupting again.
Money.
Pastor, stop interrupting. Let's have a dialogue. Since you're triggered by what he said, let's play it one more time, and I want you to find fault with it. Play it for Matt in Pittsburgh.
Very sad thing that's going on in our country, but we're going to get it turned around. Religion and Christianity are the biggest things missing from this country, and I truly believe that we need to bring them back, and we have to bring them back fast. I think it's one of the biggest problems we have. That's why our country is going haywire. We've lost religion in our country. All Americans need a Bible in their home, and I have many. It's my favorite book. It's a lot of people's favorite book. This Bible is a reminder that the biggest thing we have to bring back America and to make America great again is our religion. Religion is so important. It's so missing, but it's going to come back, and it's going to come back strong, just like our country is going to come back strong. In the end, we do not answer to bureaucrats in Washington. We answer to God in heaven. Christians are under siege. We must protect content that is pro-God. We love God, and we have to protect anything that is pro-God. We must defend God in the public square and not allow the media or the left-wing groups to silence, censor, or discriminate against us. We have to bring Christianity back into our lives and back into what will be again a great nation. I pray that God will bless America again. I'm proud to endorse and encourage you to get this Bible. We must make America pray again.
So, Matt, Pastor Matt, tell me what's wrong with that message.
Okay, I'll tell you. It's just like the Peter Popoff or anything else. I can go down to any bookstore and get a Bible. Why do I need his Bible? Why do I need his? I can get a Bible anywhere. And it seems to me, now bear with me with this. The far left.
I've bared with you as long as I can. We're praying for you, and we're praying for the young people you pastor.
So that was the exchange that has gotten so many of you texting. What do you think? 864-477-5639 is the Firmin Ford text line. Love to get your comments. Was Mike, as Susan said, do you think Mike was patient with Matt? Do you think Matt was just calling just to be heard, as Susan writes? Or do you agree with a couple of the other texters who said that Mike really should have been a little more patient with him? Love to get your comments. Tony writes on the Firmin Ford text line, Joey, do you think Republicans should continue passing laws against abortion, considering it's been brutal for us in elections? I'm pro-life, but we just need to let it go until we get elected. Prime example is Alabama. We lost a seat because abortion was the entire campaign in Alabama. Good question there, Tony. And it's a question that's being asked all around the country. Our text of encouragement today, Joel writes, success seems to be connected with action. Successful people keep moving. They make mistakes, but they don't quit. God bless. Thank you, Joel. Appreciate that. And what I'm going to call the best text of the day is from Faye. Faye says, Joey, as I was driving today, I turned the radio on. The lady was telling what percentage of folks get their news from TikTok. And when all said and done, TikTok could be the catalyst to put Biden back in office. My goodness. But this news all but ruined my day. Folks must stay off of the CCP TikTok and get the truth from you. Every day, I forward your podcast to at least 8 different people. Thank you, Faye. That made my day. And that's what I ask you to do as well. Every day, if you would forward just the truth, do like Faye does. Send it to 8 people today. Will you do that? Forward it to 8 people. Ask them to join our community here in Just the Truth. It's real simple. Just click on the share button and send it to your contact list. Thank you again, Faye. Your comments are welcome as well on the Firmin Ford text line, 864-477-5639. Leave a quick voice message. Send your emails, joey@joeyhudson.com. So Louisiana Governor Jeff Landry is urging state officials to enact a policy that requires student athletes to be present for the national anthem. This after the LSU women's basketball team received harsh backlash for missing the national anthem before its regional final game against Iowa on Monday night. I'd love to get your comments on this one as well. This has been debated for quite some time now. First, let me talk with you, though, about your refrigerator, about your stove, your dishwasher, your microwave, a washer and dryer. Are you looking for new ones? Maybe you just remodel the entire kitchen. You need all new appliances, but you don't want to have to wait. You want them like now. Quite often, you can buy today and use the appliance today at Discounted Appliance Warehouse. Just head over to Pickens, talk with Jeff, Johnny, Kyle, the whole team over there, because they have the knowledge that you need to make the right choice when it comes to purchasing your next appliances. Maybe you just have a refrigerator that's gone out on you. Regardless of the situation, if you need a whole kitchen full or if you just need to replace that dishwasher, the team at Discounted Appliance Warehouse, they have the knowledge to give you the confidence in your purchase. They'll show you around the warehouse. It's over 11,000 square feet packed with new appliances. They'll help you find the right solution. They have expert installation, award-winning service department, and extended warranties. They got you covered well beyond the sale. Discounted Appliance Warehouse, they're in Pickens and online at dawpickens.com. The Republican governor of Louisiana has become the latest figure to call out the Tigers for being noticeably absent during the national anthem. Governor Landry wrote a post on X saying, "My mother coached women's high school basketball during the height of desegregation. No one has a greater respect for the sport and for Coach Kim Mulkey. However, above respect for their game is a deeper respect for those that serve to protect us and unite us under one flag. It is time that all college boards, including Regent, put a policy in place that student athletes be present for the national anthem or risk their athletic scholarship. This is a matter of respect that all collegiate coaches should instill." A video from Outkicks showed that Iowa players on the court holding hands during the Star Spangled Banner. LSU had left the court right before the anthem was played. Now, Mulkey said that after the loss to Iowa, her team's absence was routine. Coach Mulkey said, "Honestly, I don't even know when the anthem was played. We kind of have a routine when our players are on the floor. They come off at the 12-minute mark prior to the game." According to NOLA.com, neither USC nor UConn were present for the national anthem before their Elite Eight game Monday night either. The Tigers haven't been present for the national anthem all season, according to reports. They were not present for it during last year's national championship game either. It's not an excuse, though. I agree with the governor. They should, these student athletes who are getting their education because of scholarships, because of their ability to play in these sports, they should have respect for our country, respect for our flag, and they should be out there during the national anthem. I'm surprised we're still having this conversation. So what's up with this story? Cody Alcorn. You remember Cody? He was on Fox Carolina here in the upstate of South Carolina for a number of years, and he does a great job keeping up with the news on Facebook. If you haven't followed Cody, you should, because quite often he gets tips here in the upstate, Georgia, North Carolina, all around the Southeast before local media does. I don't know how he does it, but he does. He posted yesterday, Irvin Lee Bowling of Easley, South Carolina, has been identified as the driver who crashed into the final barrier at FBI Atlanta headquarters in Chamblee, Georgia on Monday. Bowling was an insurance broker, he said, with an office in Greenville. Alcorn said, I called his office. The woman who answered the phone said Bowling wasn't in today, then transferred me to their branch manager who hasn't responded to multiple requests. I reached out to Bowling's wife for a statement, but haven't heard back. Easley is about 128 miles from Chamblee. In a new criminal complaint, the FBI said that Bowling crashed his 2022 Buick Encore with South Carolina plates into the barrier just before 12:30 on Monday. The FBI then accused Bowling of exiting his vehicle after the crash and trying to follow an FBI agent into the secure parking lot by walking past the gate. It's at that time, according to Alcorn's report, he was approached by the agent he tried to follow and two other agents who were leaving the parking lot. The FBI agents said they instructed him to sit on the curb, but he refused. As he tried to walk further into the secure area, the agents took him into custody. Agent said his passport helped them identify who he was on the scene. He was taken to the hospital. Nowhere in the complaint does it mention a possible motive behind this incident. Bowling has been an insurance broker since 2018. According to the report, his biography shows he's married with 3 kids. Again, Alcorn says he tried to reach out to the family, has not received the response. At last check, Bowling was hospitalized and has not been booked into DeKalb County Jail. That's odd story. I'm sure we'll be hearing more about that. That's it for today's Just the Truth. Appreciate you joining me in the PhD Weight Loss and Nutrition Studio to lose weight for the last time. Visit myphdweightloss.com. Join our mailing list at joeyhudson.com. Just click on Connect with Joey so that you can receive our emails. Find me on YouTube. Just search for Joey Hudson. Also on Facebook, Instagram. And I appreciate you spending a few minutes of today with me as I realize you have choices for your time. Again, take Faye's advice and forward today's edition to 8 of your friends. Faye says she sends it to 8 friends every day. I want you to follow Faye's lead. And let's build our community here on Just the Truth. Keep those comments coming via the Firmin Ford text line, 864-477-JOEY. Keep your emails coming as well, Joey at joeyhudson.com. We're back again tomorrow. Hope you'll plan to be with us. Until then, remember, God's got this. He's still in control.